Hello, my name is Zia and today I'm going to be showing you how you can repair or fix some of the most common blue screens. Now previously I made a video about blue screens and I don't think I explained things very well, and so for that reason I got quite a lot of questions about blue screen. So I thought I'll make another video, and this time I've got a PowerPoint presentation with some notes so I don't forget anything. And also I'm actually going to be going through a real example of blue screen and how I went about try and solve the blue screen. This way you get a really good idea of how you can solve the blue screen at home yourself. So let's start this. First, I just want to quickly explain what blue screen is. Blue screen error is basically an error that occurs when there's something wrong with the computer. It could literally be anything. Now you can get blue screen error for multiple reasons, but one of the main reasons you get it is actually to prevent further damage to your computer. So why do I get blue screen of death? Well, you can get blue screen of death if your drivers are really old, if your current computer is really old, the hardware, if your computer is infected with either virus, malware or anything similar, if you have incompatible software that's not compatible with other software, or if you have hardware that's not compatible with working with your other hardware like your motherboard or power supply. Or if you don't have a really good cooling system and as a result your computer is overheating, maybe your fan's not working, maybe something else wrong, or there's too much dust or anything, or if you have fault in your registry, or if you have important Windows files missing. Now I'm just going to quickly show you two different examples, or just the difference between two main blue screens. Now as you can see, this blue screen tells you exactly the file that's causing the problem, and the problem that caused by the following file. Now you can search this up on Google and get a good idea of what its job is in the computer and what it does, and then go about it then. But in this one you just get the error code RRQL no less no equal and nothing else. You just get some other information, and it doesn't tell you that the file that's causing the problem, so you have to find out. And at the bottom here, beginning of dump of physical memory, this is Windows creating a folder in mini dump folder where it's going to store information about this blue screen, so you can actually look at this blue screen information. So let's just pretend this is a blue screen. I just got this blue screen error. So what do? Well, first of all, you need to download a software called Blue Screen View. Blue Screen View is a free software. I'll provide the link in the description. So download that first. It'll allow you to access the mini dump folder files that we're looking at, the information on the error that occurred, or the blue screen that occurred. Now to access the mini dump folder, all you do, go to computer, go to C drive, go to Windows, then find a mini dump folder. Is this one with the lock. Then just open up the blue screen and see what you get. Well, here when you open up the blue screen, you get a lot more information about the blue screen that occurred. You get the date, you get other parameters, you get, the most importantly, the caused by the driver. You get the name of the driver that actually caused the blue screen. Now this is quite important. You really need to know this. Now you right click on it and search this up on Google. Go Google search bug check plus driver, and then here it'll tell you information. But here you can get lost quite easily unless you know exactly what you're looking for. But you can search it up if you have no idea what the driver is. But here, if I look at it below the driver that caused it, I'll look at it here. Don't worry about the other highlighted ones. It's just the software. They work with other software, so when the problem occurs, kind of all of them report the problem. But here, when I look at the same driver that's caused the blue screen, is here, and I look at the product name, is NVIDIA, and the file description is also NVIDIA Windows kernel mode driver. Now the only thing I have in my computer that's NVIDIA is the graphics driver, so straight away I know this is the graphics driver. Maybe some other component. Usually if it's Windows Microsoft system, it's very unlikely it's going to be some of the files in Windows operating system, because they usually work unless you've got, I don't know, dodgy operating system or something. but usually it works. So if you look here, the highlighted ones, the odd one out is NVIDIA, and I know straight away that that's my graphics driver. Now, just because the graphics driver reported the problem, it doesn't necessarily mean there's something wrong with the actual driver. It could be the hardware side of the graphics card, in other words, that's using this driver. So it could be there's something wrong with the hardware, maybe it's faulty, maybe something else wrong with it. So it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, straight away the driver, but usually it is something wrong with the software side. So once you look at the blue screen dump file, you get a really good idea of what's going on and where the file is and why you might be getting the problem. Okay, so first we looked at the blue screen, and then we looked at the mini dump folder using a software called Blue Screen View. Now we're going to use a method of how we would go about solving this. Now, the example I'm showing you, the blue screen error, I already know what the problem is and why the blue screen error occurred, but the PowerPoint checklist, I'm kind of going through it for everyone, so it could be a different error. So just to let you know. So the method I'm going to use is called trial and error. Trial and error is basically, a method of trying to fix things where you think might be the problem, where you suspect the problem might be, and then trying to see if that has made any changes or not. Because blue screen errors are really hard. That's what makes it so hard to fix, because you can't really straight away say, well, there's a problem, let's fix this or change this. That's why they're really hard and annoying to fix. Now, the first blue screen is very important. This is just a quick note to let you know that when the first time you get blue screen error, make sure you don't ignore it. Make sure you look quickly back and see what changes you made, what could have occurred these changes, because that way you can actually find the problem much faster, because it's fresh and you know exactly the changes you made back, and you can quickly revert those changes and see if that fixes the problem. Now, if you're getting a blue screen for many days now, or months or years or whatever, then you want to think back and say, okay, just let's start with this. Let's start with what I've done to the computer. Well, you want to start with the hardware side and say, have I installed any new hardware? Maybe new hard drive, maybe new CPU, RAM, graphics driver, a motherboard, or even a power supply. If you haven't, then that's fine. Then you want to look at the software side, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But if you have made any of these changes to your computer, then you might want to disable or replace the new components, just to make sure that they might not be compatible with your current computer. So just to quickly check. Then you want to go onto your software side. Now, software side is slightly different, but it is a similar thing. You want to check, make sure you haven't you want to check that new drivers maybe you've installed, and after that, since then you've been getting a blue screen error. Maybe it's the drivers. You can roll back and change it. Maybe it's a new software that you've installed, such as antivirus software. You can also just delete the software and see if that fixes the problem. Maybe it's a new game. Since you've downloaded a new game, you've been getting blue screens. It could be the new game. Maybe Windows updates. Windows updates are very unlikely that they're going to be a problem, but they sometimes can be, and you can uninstall the Windows updates, which I'm going to show you in a minute, or any other major changes you have made to your computer. If you suspect any of these changes you have made, and since then you've been getting the blue screen, revert the change and see if that fixes the blue screen error. That's how I would go about fixing blue screen, and it goes for everyone else, and it actually works. Now, there's many ways you can go back. I'm going to show you a few ways you can go back. This is mainly for the software side. If you, like I said, if you've made new hardware changes to your computer and you think it's the hardware, then you just remove the new hardware, replace it with the old one, see if there's any compatibility issues or something like that. That could be the problem. But if it's the software, you can always roll back the driver. If you've got a new driver, you think that's the problem, you can actually roll back the driver. You can uninstall updates, as I said, if you think you suspect an update did this. Since an update you've been getting blue screens, you think it's an update, you can uninstall the updates. You can uninstall the software you think that might be the problem. You can do a system restore if you can't remember, but you know that is some sort of a software or something you did to your computer that since then you've been getting blue screen. You can do a system restore and just restore back to a date before the blue screen error occurred, or the last resort would be to do a clean installation of the operating system, which means clean installation of the operating system if you have the CD with you. This will get rid of most of the software problems, but it won't really do anything to the hardware obviously, but you can do that, but that's the last resort. Quickly, I'm just going to show you how to do these things. Now you can look at most of your components in your computer here. Just go to Start, right click on your computer and then go to Manage. Here go to Device Manager, and then here you can look at certain things. Now remember, my problem is with my graphics card, so I'm just going to go to graphics card, just click on it, display adapter, go to properties. Here you can, if you suspect there's a problem with your driver, you can update the driver, see if that fixes the problem. You can roll back the driver, you can go back to the old one, or you can uninstall it completely, see if that's the problem or not, and reinstall the software, the driver for it, and see if that fixes the problem. Now you can remove updates and software by going to Control Panel, go to Uninstall a program. Here you can uninstall any of the software that you might suspect could be the reason for blue screens, or you could, and if you want to uninstall updates, just click on here, go to View Installed Updates, and then here you can actually uninstall an update. Just go right click and then uninstall, which you might think could be the reason for the blue screens. Remember, don't do any of these unless you kind of have suspicion, and because since then you've been getting the blue screen since an update or something like that. Don't do it, because you don't really need to do it. These most of them security updates.